Hello, and welcome to another live play for the Rollwise podcast. Tonight, we are going to be doing a little bit more with our Age of Worms campaign. So we are at session 10 of this. We've actually dedicated 10 sessions to this, which I thought in itself was quite the milestone. I was really happy that we've gotten so far. It just did this system by itself. So we will continue. We've got ironically enough, I think we're getting closer and closer to the end of the first of the 12 adventure path pieces with this, and so we'll see how far we get today. So I think I'm pretty excited. How about you guys?
We go off the
what? Where'd you go?
I'm working. That was mostly so I could test my audio.
Oh,
Jeff, say something.
I'm excited. We got a creepy haunted house and some zombies to check out, so it'll be interesting.
Okay, we're working, and we sound like normal humans.
Perfect. Well, the same as before. I'll let these guys manage chat. So if there's anything you want me to see, just let me know, because otherwise I will be, reviewing my notes and looking at the other stuffs.
Okay.
Because I only have one screen, and it doesn't seem like it never seems like it's enough. Honestly.
How could it be? Yeah. How could one screen be enough? That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know. I don't know how people manage it, especially like a single laptop screen. Like whenever I look at a laptop by itself, just small little screen. I'm so sad.
Are you gonna have 6 someday? Just like 3 on the bottom and 3 on top, and you'll be.
Well, I don't know if it's like a programmer background. Maybe you guys have seen this, but I do like it when I see like somebody have like an extra wide screen and then they have like the vertical screens over on the sides.
Do you remember where we all used to work? People used to do that, and IT would come by and go like, "Stop that shit."
Maybe I do maybe remember.
I always think that when people are doing that at my current workplace, because like no one cares what you do with your screen at your workplace as long as it functions.
It doesn't hurt. The monitors are designed to do that. It doesn't hurt them.
It was just funny
if they're cabled so tight, and I think that was the problem at that place where we all worked. The cables were tied so tight that if you actually moved it, you started them out and breaking the connectors.
It was also
because somebody decided they didn't like it.
Well, it was also the fact that it wasn't your desk. Like the fact that we rotated desks pretty much meant that somebody was going to come in and not like it, and then they're going to move it, and then just doing that all the time would break stuff eventually.
So now that we know that all of the people's audio is absolutely perfect, crystal clear, he boasts.
I didn't say that.
So I think tonight,
and Mike just jinxed it. That's what I'm going to say.
All I know is that the Gremlins have only escalated their game in so much as now they're costing natural disasters. I guess this is quite the back and forth we have. So I think we actually have a special announcement tonight. You guys received something up in Montana, and I'm waiting. I think I'll have it this week for next week.
You should have it this week, yeah.
Yeah, but what did you guys get that we can show off here on stream?
Let me see if I can get the camera to focus. We got some action trackers. Well, it tracks a hell of a lot more than action. HP, magic points, stamina, grit. I know I'm missing some stuff. Temp HP, and then you can track the actions. Little magnetized action as I use them.
Ooh.
It tracks all of the DC20 fiddly bits, as I like to say. Everything is on there, and then the mini ones, which are boxed up and being sent to Mike so he can use them for people that are trying to murder us. The mini ones, they just track action and hit points?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they put our logo on the back.
And they customize them for us.
Yeah. So this is actually a really cool thing. This was sent, and I think this was probably the first time I've actually seen this type of tracker, and I'm going to be seeing the little ones. But this is from, I don't know, can we say fan at this point?
I mean, I don't know if I think
it's a weird thing for us to say.
It's a company. They're making the action trackers, and it's cool. Did we say their name yet?
I think it's more just us having fans. Seems weird. But yeah, the company that made us was J15 game.
I don't know how to say it. It was Dylan was who I was talking with. And it's J15, and they're actually in Escondido is where I was seeing them, and they do a whole bunch of different gaming bits.
Agile Monk knows who they are.
Yeah. Agile Monk, yeah, J15 Games. They do a whole bunch of different bits for a bunch of different games, and from what I can tell, the quality looks freaking amazing.
The quality's nice. My partner almost stole one. She really liked the purple one. Mike can show the little ones when they get down there, but yeah, no, they seem really nice. The action's smooth. I like them.
Yeah. No, it looks really honestly. It does look really honestly nice, and we really appreciate it because I think that'll just make it so much easier for us to do the whole action tracking and everything like that. So a whole heartfelt appreciation from our side. We really appreciate you thinking about that for this. And honestly, I think there's one more piece here, right? There's they are doing a little bit of a discount right now to celebrate the successful Kickstarter of the of the DC20 game and everything like that. So we'll have a promotional code and a link and everything like that in this video, so that if you guys are interested in purchasing your own action trackers from J15 Games, you can definitely do so. And of course, we will try to show them off as much as we can.
And somebody will put the link to their Etsy store in the show notes, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and what was the code here? It's in case you like the discount code, the discount code was save20 DC20 at j15games.com. So, but yeah, that was pretty awesome. I'm still really looking forward to it. They look like they're pretty sweet, and I can't thank them enough for the special customization with the Rollwise logo on the back. It's so fucking cool.
That is cool. Yeah, and I guess it's a surprise we got them because Dungeon Coach. It seems like Dungeon Coach doesn't have them yet. So,
oh really?
Good for us.
Yeah, so we have them now. So J15 Games. That is pretty awesome. So we've got them. We're gonna try them out, and we really appreciate it. So, okay. So with that being said, I think we're ready
to storm the castle.
Have fun storming the castle. I don't actually think it was a castle we were storming, though. Was it?
No, it was a house.
No, it was a broken down house, actually.
Yeah, it works for me.
It's a broken down house. Okay. So we'll see if we can't get that taken care of. So okay. So I'm just getting my stuff ready here, and here we go. So first things first. So to kind of start off with, just to kind of reset the scene and everything like that. You had journeyed to the location loosely described by Alistair, speaking to him in the Whispering Cairn, and you had arrived at what appears to be his family's farmstead. You saw gravestones that had been laid out that pretty much had as many of the land family members showing their times of life as well as their times of their times of death, except for Alistair, whose fate was unclear by the people that were putting in the gravestones. You can tell that, from the gravestones alone, a cursory glance at the rest of the farm stand shows that either that was the entire land family and they had succumbed to the harsh realities of frontier life, or any of the remaining members basically moved on. Determined to lay Alistair with the rest of his kin, you found the plots themselves exhumed and the remains missing. seeing that there was a lot of activity, some of it that led up to the farmhouse. You went to the farmhouse. The structure itself, pretty much dilapidated and sagging, suffered from many years of neglect. Getting up to the actual opening where the door was, you see kind of an unsettling discovery. There was thick, sludgy puddles of dry blood and unidentifiable chunks of flesh strewn across the wooden floor. It painted quite the gruesome picture of what transcribed there. Also, on the door, which has kind of been pushed down and off to the side, you do see what looks to be red paint. Not blood, but red paint that is splashed in what an old, like it's an X pattern, but the paint itself is very, very old and worn, just like the door. So, what is your next move?
I step behind Brom.
I draw my shield and my axe, and I continue to investigate the broken down. What did you said it was a?
It's a farmhouse.
Like a farmhouse, okay.
Yeah, it looked like it may have at one point been 2 stories, but since
barn, I thought barn was the word I was looking for. I thought you said it was a barn for a second, but farmhouse makes sense.
No, and
the last time we tried to go into a barn, we got shot with a shotgun before we even got through the door.
That's immediately what I was thinking of for a second. I was like, oh, we have bad luck with these.
Yeah, we couldn't even listen at the door. We just got blasted with a shotgun.
Well, okay, yes.
But it's a farmhouse, not a barn. Okay, so
it is a farmhouse and not a barn.
Single story, or it is effectively single story now, even if it did have a
Brom subconsciously, as if from another universe, feels a little bit more comfortable knowing it's a house and not a barn. And
yes.
Okay. So Bron is entering first into the farmstead. I mean, it's a very basic farm. You see what looks to be kind of an opening, what may have been kind of like a sitting area or something like that greets you. It's not very wide in here. To the left, where it opens up into probably a much larger room. This main wall that's kind of straight ahead of you coming in the door, you can tell that just over to the left, there's something that looks like almost like so if you imagine the wall going this way, you see some rubble to your right, and just beyond that, you see some fingers poking out. And the fingers themselves are quite blue.
Well, I guess we'll go see that person's live, so I'll rush over there and start moving caution or movement or find out who they are or anything like that.
Okay. So as you get to the rocks, like I said, the wall, it does open into a larger room to your right. I'd like
sure, I can fail that roll for you.
Appreciate it.
I rolled a 12.
And so as you kind of get closer to the hand, and as you kind of start to round the corner, you see that, first of all, you see that the hand, which is kind of protruding just a little bit, is attached to an arm.
We're getting a wonky sound again.
We are? Already? No.
It sounds okay to me, Jeff. Do you want to check it?
Okay.
Oh, that's better.
Agent.
Okay. I don't know.
Monk said it sounds okay.
Thank you for the updates.
Okay, so basically you see that the arm, you see that the hand is connected to a bloody arm, but the arm is not connected to the rest of the body. On the arm itself, you do see a rather large-looking tattoo, but also kind of around the corner, not necessarily immediately around the corner. You do hear the labored breath of what probably is a large beast or something that you haven't been able to see just yet.
Sorry, I was paying attention to chat. There's a beast off to what side?
Well, that you hear the sounds of a beast, kind of like, as if you imagine this is kind of like a hallway going this way. The room extends, but there's an opening here, and as it goes farther around to the right, it opens into a much larger room, and you can hear towards the direction of some stairs in the other corner something that sounds like a large beast, like.
Okay, well, my first priority is, can I tell if the person in the pile of rubble is alive?
No, it's just their arm.
It's just an arm.
It's just an arm. Yeah. Okay, so I missed that. I apologize. So now knowing that they're not alive, I will make way towards where I think I hear the monster.
Okay. All right. So you can tell that what seems to be is that the stairs, even though they lead to a collapsed second floor, there's a space underneath the stairs. It looks like it's been carved out, like the wood has been broken down, and quite a big opening has been created there. How close do you get?
I mean, I guess I make some noise, like I'll bang my my axe on my shield and see if I can get the monster to come out. Okay. If that's where I think, if I'm pretty sure that's where it is. Anyways.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like the most likely place there for there to be something. So as you start banging your shield,
well, can I hear it in there? You said I could hear it, so can I hear it in there?
Okay. Yeah, you hear the laborious breathing from in there. Okay. And so you kind of bang your shield like kind of a like issuing a challenge or a warning.
Yeah, more like a challenge, like basically just trying to get it to come out, because if it's a monster, we're gonna have to get rid of it to find out what happened, I think.
Okay.
Unless Zevrox says something else, says something different.
No, I don't know what this is.
Okay. Okay. So as you kind of like, what do? You bang your shield, you said, or?
I bang my axe on my shield. Yeah.
Okay. So as you clang your axe against the shield, trying to, draw the attention of whatever is underneath there, you kind of see a large, kind of I would say, feathery paw reach around the side of it, the side thing, and you see kind of coming out of what looks to be this recess into the floor, almost like it's made into a nest, a beak and a large head. There is blood on the on the side of the owlbear's face. Its beak is open, kind of like in about ready to hiss, and it's looking at you with very black and beady eyes.
It's up to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I already did it to try and get it to come out, so I guess we're fighting it.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say it was a cockatrice, and I was just turned to stone instantaneously.
No, not yet. I mean, so... Okay.
It's a basilisk. You're dead.
No. But so it doesn't. It seems to like be looking at you and kind of like hissing with that kind of owlbear like, as it's opening its thing. It's not going at you though.
So it's not aggressive.
Not so much as that. It seems to be watching you, but it's not actually like, it's not trying to pursue you or charge you like other parent owlbears have in the past.
I mean, I guess I can back off and we can try and search the house, but there is a dangerous monster there as we try and search the house. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's not being aggressive, which is good, but
I don't know how we're going to look through the house.
So getting into this room, I mean, there's other than that little den where the owlbear is, there's not really a lot more to the house. There's really just this room, the owlbear den under the stairs, and of course the rubbles in the corner and everything like that. Now, in this room towards that den, you do see quite a bit of dried blood and muck, where it looks like there was something that was drug in there, but otherwise.
But I mean, that might not even be a human, though. That could
I wonder if it killed one of the grave robbers.
Mm-hmm. So we'll back off. Go back to the arm. Is there anything on the arm, like a ring or anything that's
tattoos?
Anything that we can identify it by potentially?
There is quite a unique tattoo on the arm. Now, out of curiosity, which one of you guys would know more about the different mine owners in Diamond Lake?
That would probably be Brom.
Yeah, that sounds more like I mean, I probably at least somewhat, but yeah, that feels more like. Yeah.
And I do have a dot in history, so.
Okay. Well, why don't you roll a knowledge history for me and see what you get here?
That's +3, right? Or would
it well, if you have a dot, it would be
the dot. Yeah, the dot's +2.
Yeah, so it'd be that plus your.
Well, I don't know anything about it. I rolled a 1, everybody, if you'd like to.
Nice. Okay.
I apparently try to think back to what the tattoo might mean and get a nosebleed.
So basically, you're sure you've seen this before. You don't exactly know where, you don't exactly know who, but you know that one of the mine owners in Diamond Lake had at one point branded their people with this type of mark. But for whatever reason, it's right now eluding you as to who that would have been, why they would have done it, and why this person's arm would be here.
What I also know is I can take the arm with me back to city proper, and we can tell them there's an owlbear here and ask if anybody knows who this is.
That is probably the best result, given that you rolled a 1.
So that's what I suggested to Zevrox, is I pick up the arm and tell him we should probably just get out of here and leave.
Or you could try to wave the arm in front of the owlbear to pull it out, and I can dive into the den to see if there's any evidence of exhumed bodies in there while you play keep away with the arm.
I feel like that is not the option that I want to do.
Just throwing it out there. The only thing that we can't search in this house is where the owlbear is.
Yeah, or we could take it back to town and somebody can come investigate. Like authorities can come investigate, get rid of the owlbear with like a group of people.
I mean,
yeah, but that doesn't help us, and maybe covers up anything that might be in there.
We don't even know that there's anything in here. Like,
no, we don't, but we don't know that there's not either. Both are equally as likely. I don't know if we can even remotely hurt the owlbear.
You can always try, but I'm not suggesting that you fight an owlbear. Is all I'm saying.
No, I'm not either.
I feel like I would have more success fighting the owlbear than trying to run from the owlbear, because it's definitely faster than me.
So
I don't know the airspeed of an unladen swallow. So
an unladen owlbear. Or an owlbear protecting its eggs.
All right, let's back out and see if it'll let us take the arm.
Okay, so you see that it kind of like watches you as you back out. Like, how do you typically back away from an owlbear? You kind of do.
I have my shield up, and just slowly back out.
Yeah, we don't show them our back. That's for sure.
Okay. All right. So as you kind of like step backwards away from the owlbear around the corner, you can kind of hear that it goes to kind of laboriously breathing, and kind of goes back into its cubby. You can tell that it's still like keeping vigil, because you haven't heard that like it's laid its bulk down or anything like that, but it was breathing rather hard. You almost suspect that it might almost be injured from one of its recent encounters.
Yeah, maybe we'll befriend it if you feed it the arm.
I don't think it wants the arm. What did you just do, Mike? Something about your mic changed.
I just coughed.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Now it's back to normal.
Oh yeah, I literally just had to cough, a little bit of a dry throat. Sorry.
No, that's fine. It sounded
whatever you did caused a weird background sound.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then it wasn't the cough.
I
don't know if you touched it or looked at it wrong.
Was the airport nearby, it triggered that.
That could have been it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So do you guys do anything else on the way out of the farmhouse?
There were more footprints we could follow in a different direction, or no?
No, there was just the footprints that went to the farm itself. And then basically, there it seems like the prints themselves in the cart looked like they went back to Diamond Lake.
Okay, and the prints definitely went to the house and then left.
Yeah, you guys, if I remember correctly, you did roll before on that, and you basically knew that there were footprints as your rolls. I think you guys do better on roll under systems. Is all I'm saying.
I remember we did pretty well. I think we did pretty well in that particular round. We weren't supposed to, but we did. And so yeah, we'll head back to Diamond Lake. Kind of wrap the arm up so it doesn't obviously look like I'm carrying a severed arm.
Sure.
Why are we taking the arm?
Well, because we'll know who they are. We can find out who this person is based on the tattoo, or at least who he worked with.
Yeah, but I mean, I can draw the tattoo on a piece of paper, and then we don't have to carry.
Okay. Well, then I just I let you draw it, and I throw the arm back in the house.
For the owlbear to snack on later. Sure. Okay. So you take a detailed sketch of the arm, considering that you've been doing a lot of drawing lately. That's not too hard. It's not a very terribly difficult sketch to do. So, okay. So now that you've got a sketch, what are you doing to kind of like get that identified when you get back to Diamond Lake?
Well, first,
Brent's pretty sure it's one of the mine owners, right?
Well, somebody that worked within one of the mines.
Mm-hmm. Well, right, but it's their mark, their brand, whatever.
Yeah. Yes, it's a mine owner's brand. Yes.
Yeah.
So, well, the first thing I would do
talk to your dad.
Go talk to. Well, my dad's a blacksmith, not a mine owner.
No, but blacksmiths probably do a lot of business with a lot of different people, like mine owners. Or, I mean, we maybe talk to Alistan. I mean, probably almost anybody would know.
Well, first, I'm going to go tell the authorities that we found an owlbear and an arm. That's the first thing I'm going to do.
Okay.
You can go talk to Alistan or one of the mine owners, but I'm going to go report it to the authorities first. Do we have a sheriff, or would I just report it to the garrison?
You'd report it to the garrison. Obviously, you being a garrison member, they probably do expect you not to take on an owlbear by yourself, regardless of its condition, as a singular person. So
so that's what I'll do first. Is I'll go report it to the garrison so they can go take care of the owlbear if necessary, especially if it's a man-eater.
Okay.
All right. Well, if he's going to do that, I'll just go talk to Alistan. It's the easiest thing for me to do.
Sure. Are you both gonna are you gonna make a copy of the crest for him to take? So you both
that's pretty easy. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to Brent first. So you arrive back at the garrison. The garrison itself has just always been a flurry of activity, and today is no different. When you get there, what are you going to do to kind of like report in on this?
I'm going to go to my commanding officer and tell him what we found. Because I did tell him that we're taking the bones back due to an agreement. Mm-hmm. So I give him basically the rundown on what we found. That we need to that I'm going to tell them what I think, which is that we need to reclaim the bones of the people that were dug up from apparent grave robbers, and also it's not good that we have grave robbers. And then I explained to him that we couldn't really research anymore, look anymore at the farmhouse because there's an owlbear that seems to have taken up residence in the home that we found, and it seems to potentially be a man-eater, so it might be one that the garrison wants to take care of.
Okay, sure. So you kind of reporting to Trent, and Trent, takes in the report fairly seriously. And you had mentioned were you going to show him the crest, or were you going to?
Oh, sure, I can show. I wasn't sure, but I do tell him. Well, I guess what I would do is since I told him about the arm, I would definitely say this is. We found the arm. The one arm that we found had this logo on, or this symbol on it.
Okay. So Trent looks at it, and he, kind of takes a moment to study it, because it is a drawing as opposed to the real thing. And he kind of says, this looks familiar, in so much as that, there used to be one of the mine owners. What was his name? Kind of like takes a moment to think, and he's like, Garavan Vest. That's who it was. He was kind of he wasn't one of the better ones, let's just say. He was greedy, and for whatever reason, he branded his employees. And, obviously these people probably had very little say in the matter as to being branded, but it was some sort of status within Vest's mining operation to have certain types of brands and everything like that. You said this was on an arm that you found?
Yeah, it was on an arm in the home. It seems related to the. We kind of assume it's related to the grave robbery. Actually, we think maybe they got attacked while. We think maybe the owlbear attacked them while they were either digging up the grave or after they dug up the grave. Seems to be the most likely explanation.
Well, I mean, if we were lucky, all of them would have been eaten by the owlbear, because digging up graves it's no good to disturb the dead. But I really don't. There's not a lot of people that actually still have this brand. I mean, Vest himself, he went out of business when Balabar Smenk basically took over his mining operations, pretty much bankrupted him, honestly. And so some of the people were
J15 was just asking about him. So
nice.
I told him we talked about it earlier.
Yeah. So
hey, here's mine.
Yeah. So he did mention that most of the people, when you're working the dregs in the mine, they do transfer to other mines and everything like that. And some of the workers, stayed around for a while, but there aren't a ton of them that still bear the brand of Vest. There is a group of them though that they are aware of that do frequent the feral dog. It is kind of he says it's kind of a seedier bar, and the feral dog. It's one of the taverns that is on the main vein central square. It is definitely for miners with not a lot of money, people that are looking to gamble their meager earnings on pit fights, or drink it away in bawdy songs and all those kind of things. But he doesn't. But just the he can't tell you much more about the symbol other than that.
No, what I'll tell him is that I will probably head to the feral dog, right?
Yeah, the feral dog.
Yeah, to ask some questions and see if I can find out who the arm belonged to, and maybe I can find out who stole the stole the family's bones.
We're gonna walk into a dive bar and ask where the grave robber's at.
I'm going to ask if anybody knows who had the symbol. We don't have an arm, so we can ask if we know who the symbol is, and then go talk to the group.
That's true.
Okay. Sweet. So, all right.
Unless you have information from Alistan that
I haven't talked to him yet.
I know. I'm just saying, unless you catch me after this.
Okay. So, So unless you, other than small talk, it seems like there's not really any other information that Trent can give you. Going to you, Jeff. You're going to visit Alistan. What are you trying to do in the conversation?
See if he recognizes the symbol. Tell him that we went there. The graves were dug up. There was blood all over. We went into the house that was falling down to investigate. There's an owlbear, a severed arm with this symbol on it. We think it belongs to one of the grave robbers.
Okay.
And does he recognize it?
He gives you the same kind of information that Brent had just received. He tells you that was a fairly common symbol many years ago before Vest had gone out of business. But since then, fewer and fewer people walk around with that crest. Those that do, obviously, they seem, kind of like a badge of honor almost. Hard to say exactly. He does grill you a little bit on like the farmstead itself. Did it look like people had lived in there before, or did you notice anything else about it? Because people getting caught up in farm living is, and kind of doing the frontiers work is pretty unsettling. But
it looked dilapidated. So my impression was that nobody had lived there for several years. All of the dates on the grave markers were decades old.
Decades old, you say? Well, was there? He kind of like starts poking and prodding you a little bit, and he's like, "Well, there is a chance that the depending on how many years ago this was, that they could have been victims of the Red Death plague. Did you notice any plague markers or anything like that with the house?"
None that stand out. I don't remember. I'm not even sure what the hell that would be at this point. So I'm going to say I don't know.
All right. So and he's like, well, so he kind of mentions that sometimes the they painted doors, but then also if you like as you examine the gravestones, he does mention a symbol that you did see on the gravestone itself. There was a 4-petaled flower motif that was next to each of their names except for Alistair Land's name. So that does indicate that they died of the Red Death.
They died of the Red Death years apart. That wasn't just like one plague. It was.
Or sorry, no, because they all died.
Two of them died the same year.
Yeah, no, 3 of them died the same year. Bamissa died, Calderan died, and Gertia.
Yeah, I tried to take the notes, but
yeah. The father Anders was the one who died before Alistan left.
Oh, okay.
Or Alistair.
Okay, so they died of the plague.
Mm-hmm. So 3 of the 5 graves had it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I tell him thanks for the information. I will go try to find Brahm, but if he went to the feral dog, he may be on his own because I don't have any reason to go there based on the information that I have. So did we have a designated meetup point, Brent, or did you just go to the feral dog to question them?
We can meet up. We can say we had a meetup point. I mean, the town's not very big.
No, no, I know.
So we could say we
right.
caught up outside of we caught up outside of the garrison, and then we information dump on each other.
Yeah, I tell you about the plague stuff and Vest because I can't keep my mouth closed. I have to talk.
And I say there was red paint on the door, so maybe that was an indicator at the house as well as the gravestones.
No, I couldn't tell the paint from the blood.
Well, there was red paint on the door. It was pretty clearly different, but and I only know that because Mike specified. So I tell you that I think we should go to the feral dog and just kind of ask who has tattoos like this still.
Okay. See if we can talk to him.
Yeah, we can say we might have work for them. We can lie and say we might have work for them. But we just need to ask them some questions.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. So since it's just late afternoon, the feral dog isn't going to be at its busiest until later in the evening. Um, so are you guys going to wait at all before going to the feral dog, or just kind of going right now in the afternoon?
No, I'm going to go now because the bartender's the first person I'm going to ask.
Okay.
Because they see
it's easier. It's easier to talk to them before
that.
it gets busy.
Yeah, and they see everybody, so they might know the names of the folks. If they're regulars, they might know the names of the folks that it's from.
Okay. Sure. So going to the feral dog. The feral dog is, as I said, it's kind of on the main. So the main road that goes through Diamond Lake is known as the Vein, and in the centermost part of town, the Vein opens up into this central square that hosts, the various tap rooms, taverns, stores, and everything along those lines. Um, and so right now, because it's kind of the afternoon, you still see the stalls and everything like that. It's quite a lively and chaotic place. The ground itself is kind of packed earth, cobblestones. It's worn smooth by the frequent traffic that comes through here. The stalls that are selling stuff, you can see everything from fresh produce to mining tools to other things that you might need. And you can also smell like things like roasting meats and stuff like that, that are there to draw you in. Getting to the feral dog, though, you see that it's on the northern edge of the Vein Square, and it has kind of a weathered wooden sign that kind of swings lazily, but almost like it has just one last. It's on its last leg before it falls off. That sign itself does depict a snarling dog, a fitting emblem for this establishment, and the aged timber basically says, while this has been around a long time, it has also not been maintained by anyone. Once you get inside, it does smell of it does smell of stale ale, sweat, and something maybe a little bit more acrid. The floor is uneven, it's dirty, warped planks, make it very easy to trip. And you do see over on the right, the left-hand side of the tap room area that's designated for pit fights. You both know of the reputation, if not, have been in here at least once, of the feral dog, and you know that it's the place that most miners go after work for enjoyment of all kinds. There's fewer people in here, but there are still some, but you do see behind a long kind of a scarred slab of wood. You do see kind of a surly barkeep who seems to be kind of doing barkeepy things, cleaning cups, looking over the crowd, making sure that people's drinks are flowing with more water in their ale than ale, kind of thing. What do you do when you get inside, and what is your approach here?
I've probably been here before, so I may have a passing familiarity with the bartender, having been kind of a mine guard before I joined the garrison. So yeah, I'll just kind of head towards the bar.
Okay. So the surly bar owner is Draven, and you can see that behind him are the various bottles of unknown origin. He goes and he's like reaching for one as you walk up, and he kind of looks around, and he doesn't really greet you. He's not very friendly in that regard. He just kind of is more looking to like his gaze is asking, what would you like to drink?
I asked for an ale for me and Zebrox, and then I basically put the money down for that, the gold down for that, and then I put a little bit more gold down, saying I have a couple questions if you have a moment when it's not busy.
Yeah. He kind of he pours the drink that he was originally intending to pour and passes that off to another patron, goes and gets two tankards, fills them up with the establishment's finest. I think that's the name of it. And he brings them over and he says, well, make it quick.
So I passed Zevrox the ale, and then I put the drawing of the tattoo on the bar top, and I say, we're just looking for the names of some individuals that still have this old mine marking.
Okay. He kind of looks at it, and with a poker face, you can, like, as you put it down, it's not like he like sparks any kind of recognition, but he does respond, and he kind of says, "Well, probably the best person to talk to would be Cullen. He'll be here later tonight."
Okay, and does he have one of these tattoos, or is he somebody that would just know?
He's got a tattoo, and it's pretty hard to miss.
Okay, and is there? How many people does Cullen usually hang out with that have this sort of tattoo?
Well, he typically runs with about 4 other people. They're here most nights. Let's just say spending their coin pretty freely.
And does Cullen work for a mine currently? Like, would that be where he is now?
You could say that. I don't really ask him what he does outside of here, but when he's here, he sometimes helps with all the. He kind of nods over at the pit fighting. He's like the rowdier customers.
All right. Yeah. So I pass him a couple of gold, like 3 gold, and then thank him and drink the ale. So I guess we come back later tonight. I say to Zevrox.
You gain the condition poison. No, just kidding. In spite of your dwarven constitution, it is that bad.
No, it's not bad.
Just kidding. Just kidding. So, okay. So yeah, you drink the poisonous ale. It tastes sour and not good, especially by your dwarven standards. But you're fine.
I took one sip and tasted that it was sour, and just sort of set it down and pushed it away.
Unlike a sour beer, which is intentionally sour, this is probably not intentionally this flavor.
Yeah, well, I drink mine anyways, just because I'm not wasting the gold on it. And then I say, what do you want to do for a few hours till Cullen gets here?
We should probably get something to eat and talk about how we question people that probably don't want to give us answers in a bar full of other people that probably don't want us in there, because there's no way that I look like I belong there.
Well, you don't need to. You just, sometimes you just need to pay for information. But if we're going to go find food, I push the tanker of ale away and I say, we should go somewhere else.
Okay. Yes, let's do that. Let's I don't get to eat out much, so it's a big deal for Zevrox.
Okay. So there are options, like, obviously, there's some very nice places here, but there's also, like I said, the food stalls that are within the actual square itself, that are pretty much serving everything except fish. This town doesn't serve fish, even though it's on a lake, because the lake is poisoned from the chemicals from the mines, and other things. So, you can get cow, pig, chicken, whatever you want to do there, or you can get something a little bit more exotic that is unlabeled.
I think street food's fine.
I think we're street food level, not nice place level.
Yeah. Okay. So as you guys go around and kind of pick up a few skewers of cooked meat and everything like that, anything else you're doing to pass the time, or should we
just kind of people watching? I'm probably just inadvertently looking at the arms of everybody that walks by to see if they have one of those tattoos or brands, or however they were put on. Just, kind of observing, people watching.
Sure. So just kind of taking a place off to the side and like a wallflower, just kind of chewing on your meat and seeing.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by how calm, Brahm is in the bar there, because I was nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asking him, just like questions like, how did you know how much to pay him? How much do they charge for those ales?
I didn't. Too much. He charged too much for the ales. I didn't know how much he was going to ask for, but I just offered something, and I was hoping he would tell me if he wanted more. So yeah.
Clever. That's clever.
Just basic stuff. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I definitely act like I do. So
Oh no, I'm eating it up. I'm like, oh, that's very clever. I wouldn't have thought of that. Okay. I probably would have asked him how much information cost. How much for some information, good sir?
How much is information, please? I would like to ask for something not on your menu. I would like to ask for information, please. Exactly. I don't know. That might have worked.
Come on, I grew up far from here, and now I'm apprenticing is like 18 hours a day, so I'm not used to this.
In my thoughts, this is what Brom says. In my thoughts, if I give him the option to tell me how much he wants, it might be more than I want to pay for it. So I offer what I'm initially ready to get rid of for the information, and then we can negotiate from there. That's what Brom says.
It's very smart.
It seems to make sense.
You've obviously done this a lot.
Sure. And then so yeah, I guess we just kill time making small talk.
Yeah, okay. People watching making small talk. Drinking water that doesn't taste sour.
So as you watch people, obviously, people have shirts on that would cover typically where the sleeves are, and the sun passes by overhead. People start to put away stalls and everything like that, and you can tell that at a certain point it feels like the daytime markets give way to the nighttime activities.
Sure.
Crowds.
One could say, you start to see a lot more activity, going into each of the different ale houses that are on the Vane Central Square. The Emporium and Lazar, Zane's house, Zane. Of course, are two of the other. Lazar's house are two of the other really popular places that are frequented here, and of course, so it is quite the range of services and imagery that you kind of have as you sit here. And as you get a little bit closer, it's probably towards about 8 o'clock or so at night. Do you guys go into the Feral Dog at any point, or do you just kind of like wait outside? Oh no!
Oh, it passed.
I just closed my notes and I saw the thing, and it's like, is Mike a robot for others as well? I may be a robot.
Ooh, we're getting punny in the comments.
Wow, that's a good one. Good pun. Are we still clear? Are we clear now, or is anybody getting robot voices before we continue?
Hopefully it's all good.
All right.
And while I see J50, thank you again. I might be. I am your quote unquote resident alien. I think that's a show with Andy Tudyk in it. Like
yes.
That. Alan Tudyk.
Oh, yep. Alan Tudyk. Okay. Whew.
Cool. Thank you.
It says I have an excellent connection, so I don't know what it is.
Me too.
I have a Logitech microphone, so they're replacing it because of other issues, and so that may be part of it. Okay, so you guys said you were staying outside, kind of waiting for people that are kind of matching that description, or going inside. I forgot.
Well, we didn't say anything yet. I think, yeah, we should probably go in after them.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'll follow your cue, because obviously in my mind you've done this before and I never have, so I'm learning, paying attention.
Yeah, we wait for a bit.
Okay. So it doesn't seem too much later that you have kind of a burly, I would say half orc looking guy, definitely orc blooded, albino, kind of walks up, and he has 3 people in tow. The reason why he draws your attention is that, other than the really sour look on his face, you can see as he kind of gets to the torchlight closest to the feral dog, that right on his face he has a matching tattoo similar to what you saw on the door. Behind him, you see that there are 3 people kind of in tow, and you can definitely tell that they're together because 2 of the people are talking, and they all seem to be kind of traveling together. It kind of a wiry goon, a person who looks like they may have been fighting for most of their life, and a bald, very angry looking man in a robe that all follow this individual into the.
So there's 4 of them.
There's a total of 4, yes.
Okay.
And they all have 2 arms.
They all have 2 arms. That is correct.
Do any of them have any weapons that I can tell?
Mm-hmm. Yep, they are all armed.
With what?
Stuff. That's my attempt at being an asshat for the day, and I think I succeeded. What do they have? Like, so, for example,
I thought you were just going to go with the arms thing that Jeff asked. So
no.
For a second, when I realized my question.
No, you see that the orc, he carries an axe on his back. One of the other people has a long sword and short sword at his side. A few different arms like that. Let's see.
Anthony Cohen in chat was surprised that that you can avoid conflict in DC20.
What? You can avoid conflict?
We owided conflict with the owlbear.
Yeah, we've taken on most everything else that we've come across.
That's true. We have fought almost everything else.
But the owlbear gave the impression that even though it might have been wounded, we maybe couldn't have taken it on. I don't know.
So yeah. So I mean, you do see, like I said, the big guy has an axe. One guy has a sword and a short sword. Another one has another sword in the.
That's fine. I just wanted to know that they had weapons. So
yeah, they look pretty armed.
Once they go inside,
Are they armored?
Yeah, a little bit. You can tell that at least the one that's walking with the axe on his back, he is not armored. But the rest are wearing either more. They're obviously wearing more clothes than him. But you do see.
Let's go fight this adventuring party.
Yeah, two on 4 seems great. 2 on 5.
Chainmail, leather, armor, that kind of stuff.
These are our PCs from a different campaign, Jeff. That's what these are.
There we go. Let's go.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, you see one of them has leather armor, one has chainmail, another one has kind of robes and satchels and stuff like that attached to his side, as well as he does have holstered a light crossbow.
Okay. Yeah, we follow them in, and I basically look around, and then I'll approach Caleb and ask him if he knows of anyone else that has this miner's tattoo.
So
besides him and his lovely friends.
Okay, so do you wait at all for them to get started in the evening, or do you just kind of like...
No, because I don't want them drunk. So okay. I try to approach them early.
All right. So as you get closer to them, you see them kind of like settling around a table. And what's interesting is this table seems to have been empty until they got here, despite the fact that all of the other tables around seem to have filled up, sometimes overfull with people, miners and stuff like that, who have gotten off of their shifts and everything like that. And as they're kind of sitting down, you can see that they're in places on the big one's body, the one that has the scar on the face, which probably is Cullen, as you may surmise. He does have some bandages that look like they're a couple days old. Looks like it probably need to be changed, but it also looks like the group themselves have, kind of underneath their clothes, they have some bandages around necks and arms and wrists and stuff like that. And so do you come up kind of empty-handed to them, or are you just kind of, how, like, can you describe your approach? And And
yeah, I go. I just walk up to the table basically.
Okay. So as you get up to the table, you kind of see that all four of them, which were kind of, they weren't really talking to each other at this point. They were kind of getting settled into their ale. They kind of look at you. Three of them look at the albino half orc, and then he looks at you with one eyebrow raised.
Yeah, and that's when I asked them a question.
Okay. And you asked them the question of what do
yeah, I asked them if they know anybody else that didn't have this. I'm not implying that the person is with them or anything like that, or anything has been done. I'm just asking if there's anyone else besides this group of people that have might have this mark. And also, out of character, Jeff, do you know how much gold we have? Because I have no idea.
We have at least 47 because we got 47 last session.
Okay. I just want to know what I'm working with.
Well, now less than 47. So he does look at you and he kind of goes, many people have this tattoo, especially former employees of Vast. What might a person like yourself be asking for?
Well, there was a recent incident recently that the garrison is investigating where an owlbear with an owlbear potentially, and we're trying to identify who may have been hurt or injured by the owlbear. And one of the people involved had this mark, so we're just trying to identify who they are.
Ooh. And he kind of goes, well, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. You could tell he kind of withdrew a little bit at the mention of the garrison and investigation and everything like that. If you want to roll is your charisma good?
No, but my intimidation is. Which is based off my might.
Okay.
So that would be my chosen tactic, is to try and intimidate the information out of them. Mention the garrison, mention that I'm here to collect. I'm just looking for a name, but anybody involved could be in trouble. That sort of thing.
Okay. So you can tell from his body language is probably withholding some information. You're not exactly sure as to what degree. Do you want to roll? If you're trying to intimidate him, then I guess this could be fun. You're going to go straight for the mean mugging.
Yes. So that would be plus. It's my prime attribute plus 4.
So in this case, that would be a good question, because you do get your prime modifier plus your skill level. You have skill on that, right?
Yeah, I have 2 dots in it.
Okay.
Hey, we don't have enough levels to have 2 dots in it.
No, only 1 dot.
Oh, well then I have 1 dot in it and 1 extra one somewhere. I thought you could go up to 2 during character creation.
No, that was distal.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, well I'll put it somewhere else then. So I do have 1 dot, so it'd only be 5 then.
Okay. And with a skill check, attribute plus skill mastery. Yep. Okay, so attribute plus skill mastery, so plus 5.
21.
Nice.
Okay, and so are you kind of threatening with violence, or are you just using your authority as a member of the garrison to kind of intimidate him into speaking about these kind of in an official capacity?
I mean, kind of both. Because I mean, I bring up the garrison a lot, but I also bring it up in the sense that I've been trained to hurt people. So that's kind of how I approach it. And if they seem to, as I keep talking, if they seem to be quiet, that's when I start talking about forcibly taking them to the garrison to be questioned and stuff like that. Through the course of the conversation, the more hesitant they seem to give me information, the more the implicit action of violence becomes.
Okay. All right. So they say that there are other people in town with this mark. These are just some gents that I used to work with under Vest. I mean, we have nothing to do with any owlbears, though.
Is there any of one that you haven't seen recently?
He like looks at you in kind of disbelief, and he says, "You expect me to keep tabs on everybody that used to work at the mine? No."
So yeah, I just tell them like, okay, well, in order to get more, just to make sure to verify your information, I would at least like Caleb to come with me back to the garrison.
Cullen. Okay. Sure. He kind of looks, and based on your intimidating dwarven demeanor, he kind of like looks and he nods at the people as you kind of escort him out. Okay. So, Jeff, while he's doing this and basically staring down this this half orc albino, like you're doing what?
I'm backing him up 100%. Arms crossed, trying to get my angriest face on. My wand tucked down under my side just in case I got to cast a spell.
Okay.
And trying to watch to see if anybody in the crowd is paying too much attention or going to come to the aid of Cullen and his band.
Not right now. He seems like he gave his companion kind of a nod that spoke more than you guys could interpret. You're not exactly sure what that led, but he goes to stand up. He quickly pounds back that ale, and he kind of says, "Lead the way."
And I say, "After you," and I follow him out.
Fair enough. Okay. Not getting into a contest between the two. He starts to walk out.
Okay, so I assume Zevrock stays and talks to the other miners.
No, not at all. Not even in the little bit. No, I am out by your side.
Okay, so what we do then is I basically walk him towards the garrison, and we get him a few blocks away. And then I stop and I kind of find us a quiet place to talk. And that's when I start asking him more questions about I say, okay, we don't need to take you back to the garrison. I really don't want this to degrade into any sort of physical violence, but I need information on who might have been involved in an incident at whose homestead? What's the name of the family again?
The land homestead.
The land homestead, in which an owlbear may have killed one of the men with this marking. And I need information if you know anything about it.
Well, he's like, he kind of looks at you a little defiantly. He's like, I work for a powerful man in town now. Even though Vest is long gone, harassing mining employees is not the best way to go. But what do you want to know? You want to know about this person? Well,
what I really want to know is where the bones that were dug up from the graves are. We need to inter them again.
He says, "Well, he's like, well, let's just say this. I know that." He's like, I know that this could go one of a few different ways, but I really don't feel like having my name at the garrison or, a side note, there is an actual sheriff in town. I did forget about that temporarily, but there's a sheriff that handles more domestic kind of stuff. I don't want to deal with the sheriff. I don't want to deal with the garrison. And I know you guys don't want to cross with Smenk or any of his machinations as he has it in town. So how about this? I'll name my price, and if you hand me coin right now, I'll give you some information, and then we can both be on our merry way, and I'll tell the tale of how I got away from the garrison, no problem.
How much do you want for the information?
He's like, well, There's a. I'll give you a discount. 50 gold plus. I need you to do something for me.
I will give you 20 gold, and I won't have people from the garrison harass you every night at the bar.
Ooh. We did roll pretty good on that intimidation check. Not gonna lie, you're a scary little dwarf. Okay, well, 20 gold gets me a round of drinks or two.
And you have a pretty good story about how you got away from me on the way to the garrison.
And I will need this from you. If I'm going to be giving you this information, I'm going to need something more than just the gold in return.
I will do you a favor if it nets us getting those bones back. It's very important.
All right. So he kind of like sizes you guys up a little bit, and he basically says that, as even though I'm working for Smake, it's not all it cracked up to be. I'm starting to think that some of the things he's having us do are not in our best interest. And
like grave robbing.
Well, it's not Smake who's asking me for the graves. That's going to be Filge. It kind of like looks at you to see if there's any acknowledgement on your faces, and obviously you guys are no. So he's just like, after for whatever reason, Smake called in this favor from Filge, this guy from the Free Cities, kind of a kook, and he's treating us like we're nothing but errand boys and everything like that. He's having us dig up some graves, and it's not the kind of work I thought I'd be doing after being promoted in Smake's operation and everything like that. But this crazy old goat, he's up in the observatory, up on the hill. You guys know the observatory. Back in the day, there was a few people that had set this place up to kind of watch stars and everything like that. And he's like, old Phil just set up there under the protection of Smake and all those kind of things. And all the bones we deliver just go up there. But I'd be careful. That guy's crazy. He dabbles in a little bit of that dark magic. And the sooner I can be rid of him, the better. So what I need from you is, because I don't like the way he treats us, if you take care of him, give me his eyes. I think we can also call it even. But if this comes back to find me, I assure you, I will find you. And you can tell that he's making a very credible threat here.
Well, I'm not going to kill the guy unless it's necessary. So I'll see if I can get rid of him for you. But potentially, I mean, if he's robbing graves, for sure, we can probably get rid of him. But yeah, I can't kill him unless I'm not going to just kill him for you. I'm not a murderer quite yet. And I'm not really worried about his magic. We have our own access to magic. But I'll see if I can get rid of him for you. But I'm probably not gonna, unless it's necessary. I'm not just gonna kill him.
Well, say as it is, but I might recommend, if you're going up there and you don't do this, be careful what you do up there. And if you need to just get your bones and run, then so be it. But be careful. You're going to make powerful enemies.
I tell him about this disembodied spirit we already have a deal from. No. I just look, and then I look at Zevrox. Once he gives us the information, I look at Zevrox and I say, go ahead and pay him the gold. And we'll see if we can find out more information about, what was the guy's name again?
Filge.
I
hand Cullen 20 gold.
Okay. And he kind of like accepts it, and he's like, looks at you both, and he's like, I'll be expecting those eyes. And he kind of starts to walk away.
Like I said, I'm not, you're probably not going to get the eyes, but we'll see if we can get rid of him for you. Not a murderer.
Under my breath, I go, he sounds like a necromancer.
I was thinking of vampire. I'm kidding. Anyways, yeah, so So I say maybe your master knows a little bit about Filge if he's so kooky, or a necromancer.
I think he'd at least be interested that somebody's set up in the observatory. So yeah, I agree.
And stealing bones.
We should talk to Alistan, see if he's got any ideas.
Okay.
Which we'll probably wind up going and talking to Filge first, and then I'm probably going to have to tell the authorities that he's grave robbing.
Okay.
I'll leave out names, but
sure.
than his. But
okay. So it's pretty late now. You know, obviously your conversation ends well past 9, and it's pretty dark and all that kind of stuff. You know from your own experience that Alistan would probably want to have the conversation in the morning. Yeah.
I tell Brom that he's welcome. You know, he can stay in the guest room. I'll have to clean it, but you know, after he stays in it.
Oh, I can go stay in the garrison too, so that's probably where I'll go.
All right, then why don't you come meet me at Alistan's after breakfast? We'll probably have the conversation during breakfast. I'll get up and do my duties in the morning and talk to my master.
Sounds good.
Okay. So night goes pretty easily. Morning comes. Obviously, you know, your body is trained, Jeff, by all the previous work that Alistan has done to get you to make his breakfast, have his tea ready, have his morning ritual, and everything like that. You know, have his morning ritual prepared for him so that when he wakes up, everything is fine. He does, you know, as you kind of like are feeding him his, you know, as you giving him his food and everything like that.
As you're feeding Alistan, I'm gonna step away for a sec. Be right back, guys.
What kind of questions do you ask Alistan?
If he's ever heard of this person named Filge from the Free Cities. He's taken up residence in the observatory and supposedly is using Smank's men to do things like rob graves.
Seems like a pretty outlandish claim. But the name Filge doesn't ring any kind of bells. The observatory, however, is kind of an interesting landmark. He says that, you know, it kind of gives you a little bit of history about how there was a group of people that were dedicated to the academic understanding of the stars, not necessarily the divine understanding. However, the people that were there died out many years ago. So since then, I'm sure people have taken up residence in those ruins. But yeah, he doesn't mention any knowledge of Filge or anything like that.
Any idea why somebody would be stealing the bones out of graves? Is this some sort of necromantic thing, or
he doesn't think that, you know, that's out of bounds. You know, obviously people would, you know, use that type of could use those type of components for dark magics and everything like that. There's very few spells that he's aware of that would warrant robbing from the graves if you're studying the more beautiful side of magic, let's say.
Yeah. Does he have any advice before we go try to confront this Filge and get the bones back?
Any advice? Well, if he is a necromancer, obviously watch out for his creations. He does warn you of that.
It is maybe about what I thought I'd get and less than I'd hoped for.
See, you're becoming that much better of an apprentice that you can anticipate his answers.
Yeah. Does he have any? Has he heard any rumors about Smank and the types of foul deeds he gets up to?
He says that Smank is. I mean, obviously, the mine owners in Diamond Lake are a mixed bunch. I mean, you know, the various people, while they have their outward appearances and everything like that, and some of that seems okay, Smank kind of exudes corruption and bad taste. He has quite a bit of clout, though. and he has and other than maybe the garrison commander and the governor mayor, you can tell that he can put his thumb into a lot of different things. In really, his rise in the last few years has been quite meteoric, and he's actually taken into his possession 4 separate mines. And that he probably does. His ambitions are probably to own all of the mines in Diamond Lake, but he's kind of backed by some people in the Free Cities, from what I understand, talking to my brother. So, but I don't really dig too deep into the politics behind them past that. So,
no, I understand that. You have a lot of people that come, and you pick up a lot of information. You're good at gathering information, and this Filge sounds like quite a character. And if he's involved with Smank,
well, if he was, I mean, based on what I've heard of him, it doesn't seem out of bounds for him to have people from the Free Cities that he could call upon and request certain services. That doesn't seem too far out of his character.
Okay, thank you, Master. I am going to go meet Brahm, and I will clean up and meet Brahm and go explore the observatory, I guess.
Get eaten by zombies.
Good luck, and don't let the zombies eat you.
Good luck storming the observatory.
Pretty much. Okay. So, Brahm, do you have anything exciting that you do in the morning other than your regular stuff, or is that pretty much normal?
No, I eat with the other garrison folks. Do a few calisthenics. And then, as soon as I'm done with that, I head out to meet up with Zevrox for us to go and explore the word that I forgot just now.
Observatory.
And that's the word. And make sure that we do it during the day. So if he has anything that might be a problem, maybe it won't be as big of a problem during the day. I've heard that about dead things.
Okay. Do you like to deal with them during the day instead of the night?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go straight to the observatory.
Okay. So the observatory is not that far out of town. It's about 5 minutes north of Diamond Lake, and it's on a bluff that overlooks an abandoned mine. The crumbling old observatory casts its gaze into the heavens, and there's a wide slit that bisects its domed tower. This is probably where you would assume a great telescope once peered into eternity. Now the place bears a dark character. Similar to the land farmhouse, it has kind of almost a sagging tenement feeling. It's broken under the weight of decades of inhabitants that didn't really care to maintain it. And you do see that there is a slim stairway cut into the steep hillside that leads up to the structure's only door on the side of the tower's attached one-story outbuilding. Since it's the day, you don't really see much activity inside, but there are definitely, outside of the domed ceiling, there are windows that you can see and everything like that. But they don't look large enough to really allow for you to sneak inside, unless you want to try.
Are there any guards? Do we see any guards? Anybody standing guard? Anything like that?
Nope, just a super dangerous doorknob. What? Just kidding.
Is this the knock or you die doorknob? Is that what this is?
I don't know. Is it?
I'm nervous about every doorknob in Mike's games now.
You should be. It's a very dangerous doorknob. No, you just basically what you could see is that there's a landing that leads up to some wooden doors and everything like that, but you don't see any guards or any overt things looking from like any of the windows or anything like that at you.
Should we just knock and be like, "Hey, we need these bones back"? I look at Zevrox.
Well, they're ruins. Is there a real reason to knock?
It was kind of a joke. So yeah, let's go. So we go up and see if we can find a way in. Okay. If we have to go through the door, we will. If there's like a hole in one of the walls or something, because you said it's like a crumbling ruin, right?
Yeah. So the area where like the stairs lead to, there is a wide landing, and you see two huge wooden doors. and when you look at them, you kind of see that they're shot through with a dark blue mold, and the doors form an enormous round moon carved with almost a lunatic's jabbering face. You can see kind of when you look at the landing itself, it does look as though that the landing does have another set of doors. You're not sure what that would lead to, though. Probably maybe a tool closet or something like that, but could be something else.
But there's no other way to get in. There's no like holes in the walls or anything because it's a crumbling ruin. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, no, not at least. It looks like it's dilapidated, but not like wholly.
So yeah, I guess we go in the door.
Okay. You do see that the door, like when you try to open the door, it does resist, and it looks as though the door is locked.
I turn to Zevrox and say, "Wizard it open."
It might be easier if you axe it open.
That seems like it's going to make a lot of noise.
I think the only thing that Jeff has is you do have a wand of shatter. I think you could wizard it that way, but I don't think there's a knock spell in the game yet that I'm aware of.
Yeah, you should use your water shatter wand to get us in.
That sounds pretty quiet too, if you ask me.
No, that sounds really loud. But if we're gonna be loud, we might as well be fun loud.
The difference is that it's loud and then it's shattered, not it's loud for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it's not bang, bang, bang. Loud.
All right, you know what? We haven't used this wand of shatter, so
it's not. I'm almost there, Zevrox. Loud.
Yeah. So I pull out the wand of shatter, and I mumble the magic words and do the nifty hand signals and attempt to shatter the door with the wand of shatter.
Okay. Let's see. I don't think there's any rules for wands in
Not
in
yet,
this year.
Not yet, I don't think.
Now's your chance to contribute, Mike. Wands automatically hit everything.
And automatically do max shattering. plus max noise.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. I don't think that's actually going to work in this case.
Wand of break.
So what I might suggest is that you could try to use the wand of shatter on the lock. Okay. Since we're just kind of making up the spell.
That's fine. Yeah, let's use it on the lock.
Caster level. Why don't you go ahead and roll for me 2d6. Or sorry, not 2d6. Let's say your current damage is 1, 2. Yeah, whatever. So basically, you take the wand, since we're just using this as a lockpick now. You put it up to the lock itself.
Okay.
It's a fairly simple lock, and speaking some runic elements and everything like that, you see a discharge of sonic, like a sonic wave, radiate from the front of the wand, and it hits the lock, and you hear kind of a crunching smash inside the actual like lock area, and you see that it kind of like pushes it in and everything. You can definitely tell that if the lock is broken, and it's pretty much unusable from here on out. So,
oh no, the lock's unusable.
Mm-hmm. So, but you can basically force it open at this point.
I was gonna say, does unusual mean the door is no longer locked, or the door is permanently locked? Broken lock can mean two things.
True. Are you trying to do this? I mean, it's really not stealthy, I guess. So
no, I pushed the door open.
Okay. So as you kind of like push the door open, the door works surprisingly well, considering the tower itself is dilapidated, and obviously the mean, other than the fact that the lock is now shattered and everything like that. But it does lead you into a room. Within the room, you see furniture fragments, smashed planks, broken glass, and other detritus. And you see that it's kind of like it forms. It's pretty much everywhere in this antechamber. At the west end of the room, you see several upended tables that form a crude barricade, and you see closed doors on the north and west walls. One second. Okay, so at this point, what happens is no, just kidding. I was like, you find a cliffhanger. No. So as you guys like open the door and walk in, you pretty much see as soon as you enter into the room, heads of skeletons, kind of like three of them, to be precise, kind of stick their heads over the table, and they put crossbows over, and much like in a shootout, they basically point their crossbows and go to fire at you.
So it wasn't the barn that we had to worry about this time.
It was opening the door,
which is similar to last time. So I probably had my shield out when we came in because I knew it was loud. So I have my shield and my axe out as I go in and then get shot by arrows.
Okay. So would you be the one that was opening the door first, or were you letting Zebrox?
I would be the one that goes in first.
Okay. And since we're still using the 0.8 rules for initiative and everything like that, okay, so I have the difficulty that you'll be rolling against. What skill, I guess, how are you guys, or what are you rolling for initiative in terms of like doing this? So like Brett, since you're walking in and everything like that, what is your roll going to be for? And Jeff, what are you going to be rolling?
Might, so I can use my because I'm getting shot by arrows.
Okay. And Jeff, what are you using?
Yeah, I would have been ready to cast a spell just in case somebody was there.
Okay, so spell casting then.
I think it's pretty safe to say. Whatever combat skills, was more what I meant, because I'm pretty safe to say that we're probably ready for a fight, due to the fact that we just wand of burglaried the the door.
It's true. Okay, so you loud burglared into the door. What kind of rolls are we getting here?
I got a 13.
Okay.
I got an 18.
And you got an 18? Oh.
Did I roll in the wrong place? I think I did.
Yes, you did. You rolled in a different Discord. Okay. So Brent, you did succeed. So I think last time we had talked about kind of giving you guys the choice to determine turn order. Do you guys want to continue with that process, or do you just want Brent to go first because he won the initiative?
I think Brent can go first since he won the initiative. If we played that wrong the last time, then
yeah, it'll change with probably an upcoming initiative.
Yeah, it's going to change. We're using beta rules, so
yeah, we'll fix it.
All things subject to change.
Yeah. Okay, so it'll be Brent, and then it'll be the skeletons going.
So yeah, I'll charge the nearest skeleton and attack it.
All right. So the skeleton is behind a table, so you're basically just running at it and going to lop off a head.
Yeah, trying to knock its head off. So that would be, is that one to move?
Okay, so that's one to move.
One to move, one to attack.
Let's see. Let me just make sure because you are 1, 2. Yeah, you can get within one move action.
One to move, one to attack, one for a reroll, and one for power attack.
Okay.
I'll do my reroll. I'll take the second roll, please.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, that is definitely much better. Let's see here.
24 is much better than 16.
Yes, it is. Although 16 is pretty good too.
Yeah, I think the 16 would have hit, but the 24 is going to be
okay.
Bodies.
So in this case, you go in, you basically charge in like a feral dwarf and just go and smashing at its head. This does do a heavy hit, so let's count out that damage.
So that would be 1 for the axe, 1 for impact, 1 for power attack, 1 for heavy.
1 for heavy, 1 for brutal,
and then 1 for brutal. So it'd be 5.
Ouch.
Okay, yeah. So you basically you knock the skeleton really hard. You know, since the skeleton is kind of couched behind the table, you pretty much push it into the ground, kind of forcing the crossbow to go up. Let's see. Since Brahm is the one who came rushing at it, I think what I'm going to do is...
My hope is I killed the accurate one.
You may have. They may all be very inaccurate, from what I know. So it's going to fire its crossbow and... Okay. We got here. It's only going to make this one here. Oops. Oh.
I have my hit points ready.
Okay. So it rolled an 18 to hit.
Which hits me.
Ouch.
Okay. So because this is a heavy crossbow, let me see if I did this right. It doesn't hit you for a heavy hit or anything like that, right?
It's only 4 above my physical defense.
Okay.
So they would have to roll a 19 for a heavy and a 24 for a brutal, according to my character sheet.
Okay, so this is crossbow, heavy crossbow, 3 piercing. So, boom. It basically a bolt strikes you really hard in the side. I believe you have 1 damage reduction or 2. 2. Okay, so take a point of damage as you as it goes through enough of your armor to pierce your side there. Wait 1 second, just making sure I'm not missing something. Yep, it does have unwieldy. One moment. Actually, it missed. I'm sorry, I misread that it had the unwieldy trait. And unwieldy makes you re-roll if somebody's within 1 square of you. So never mind. I thought it hit you, but in fact it didn't.
I will put my hit point back on the tracker.
Sweet. Tracker, can you show the tracker where you would have taken damage if I would have?
Was it not on camera? It was on camera.
It was.
So ha!
You did. My apologies. I forgot that unwieldy forced disadvantage.
No, you're good.
No,
it forces disadvantage on the skeleton, not on me.
Yeah, on the skeleton. My apologies.
No,
yeah, you should take disadvantage too, though.
Just cause.
Just cause. Okay, so Jeff, it is your turn.
There's 3 skeletons.
Yes, one looks like it. Some of its bones went flying off from a severe strike from Brent. One turned and fired a bolt into Brent's side. The arrow just kind of skittering off after being deflected by his armor.
And they're all kind of clustered.
They are. They're basically. It's like they were ready for a shootout at the door. Effectively.
Okay. I am going to cast Lightning Bolt. Use an action point. I am going to chain it to a second target within 2 spaces of the original.
Okay.
And then I'm going to chain it to a third target within 2 spaces of the second target.
Okay.
So as long as they're no more than 10 feet apart, it sounds like I can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are any of them wearing metal armor? Just asking.
No, they're naked skeletons.
They're just skeletons. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I am going to increase the damage on the first skeleton because I can't increase it on the additional ones.
Okay. So which one's the first one? The one that shot Brett, you said?
Yes. Uh, 14 against their
physical defense. Okay. Okay, yeah. So 14 hits. Okay, so you did +1 damage against the one, so that takes 5.
Yeah, the one that Brent hit takes 2, and the other 2 each take 1.
Actually, are you looking at the most recent one? Because the new lightning bolt,
I'm looking at the 0.8 PDF.
Yeah. So it says chain, choose one additional target within 2 spaces, compare your spell check against the new target, hit, the additional target takes 2 lightning damage and is unaffected by features that allow you to deal more damage.
Oh, I have to, okay, so I have to spell check each target individually? Okay.
No. They your spell check is just compared against each one of them. So if somebody had a higher physical defense than the original target, it wouldn't hit them.
Okay.
At least that's my take on it.
Oh, wait, okay, so the first one takes 3 and the additional, the other ones take 2 each.
Correct.
My bad. Okay. Yeah, that's me misreading.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. Nice. So the one that Brent struck, you actually see that one kind of like as you somehow shoot around Brent with chain lightning, who Brent being an obvious lightning rod. You see that you see basically the lightning lick around, burning some of the wood. It hits the first skeleton, who you can tell jolts it almost comically, and then the other 2 skeletons go there. But what you see is the one that Brent struck, kind of like as it hits it, that causes the bones to kind of explode out to the side. It's no longer a skeleton. It's now skeleton pieces.
Former skeleton. All right, there we go.
Okay. So now this other skeleton is going to shoot at you, Jeff. So it's going to fire its weapon. You are not within 1 square, so it is going to shoot you good, or attempt to. For a 20.
How do I try to dodge?
Well, so if you want to use,
there's dodge only against melee attacks.
So a dodge action is something that you have to determine during your turn, right? So that's one of your actions that you would do.
It's not a reaction.
Dodges are not reactions.
There is a defensive reaction though, isn't there?
There are. Let's see. So there are defensive actions, and dodges where you spend 1 AP to impose disadvantage on your next attack or grapple made against before the start of your next turn. So how that works is that it's basically kind of like how D&D, where you apply the dodge and give yourself a higher AC. Now, in terms of maneuvers, there are maneuvers that you can take.
I can't take maneuvers. Okay, mm-hmm. I thought I could. Okay, never mind then. The 20 definitely hits.
Yep, and honestly, I have to thank Peter for that one, because Peter mentioned that was a defensive action, not a reaction.
And that's a heavy hit, Mike.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, I think I get to have some fun here. Unless, of course, the audience has anything that you can do. Dodge is an action. Yeah.
Yeah, you take a dodge during your turn. Mm-hmm. I have like parry or block as I think it's parry.
Yeah, you have options. I don't. That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah,
we're good.
I thought maybe there was a regular defensive option, but it doesn't sound like there is.
Once you get like martial abilities and stuff, you can. So here's what's going to happen. Okay, so he rolled a heavy hit, right?
Splat.
Yes.
It wasn't a brutal hit. It wasn't 10 over your.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so. Ooh, this is going to be a rough one. So,
when you said does a 20 hit, we kind of thought it was going to be a rough one, just for the record.
Yeah, and I'm experimenting with different things here. So typically the monsters would do 1 damage, but since I gave them heavy crossbows as for the adventure, I'm going with it. They have reduced hit points. Let's just say you take 4 damage.
I don't think he has that, Peter. You don't have a shield spell, do you, Jeff? Does Zevrox?
No.
Yeah. Just 4 points of damage?
Just 4 points of damage.
Hey, you're still alive.
Mm-hmm. I am.
And we still have healing potions.
We do.
I think we have 2 left.
Hey, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to spend an action point and a mana point to use Returning Shock.
Oh, so that's going to be a reaction? Nice.
Yes. 1 AP, 1 MP. I was just taking those off. It's instantaneous. I electrocute creatures that damage me. So I got to do a spell check against the target's physical defense. Uh, 19.
Ooh, yeah, totally.
Is that a heavy hit?
In this particular scenario, that is a 19 is a heavy hit. Yes.
So he will take 4 lightning damage.
Nice. So you returned it in kind. That's really cool. So the one that Brent hit, actually, since it's dead, is no longer going to get to go. Okay, again. So it's not going to get to go
again.
It's super dead.
Re-dead.
Okay. So Brom, it actually looks like it's your turn.
So I advance on the next one. Do I have to roll for it, or is it close enough to where I'm good?
Basically, like if you imagine one was right here, the next one is literally just to your side.
Okay. So attack.
Okay.
Reroll. Power attack. And what other stuff do I have? And is this the one that shot Zevrox, or is it the other one?
The other one shot Zevrox. And they both of these skeletons look very beat up at this point. Like, I mean, they were already bones, but like between the singe and the one taking that extra amount of damage, they look like they've
look
on their final limbs?
How close is the other one to this one that I'm attacking?
Pretty close. Like if you imagine like 1 square, 2 squares.
Within a square?
Yeah, if you moved 1 square closer, you could get to it.
But that would be another movement.
But you do have stamina points.
Oh, okay. That's true. So I'll use... Okay, let me go back to you. So I will use a stamina point to move 1 square.
Okay, so stamina points, just a reminder, stamina points can be spent on techniques, on class features, and in place of action points.
Right.
So like you would probably use the action point on the move, but then you would replace the stamina point for an action point on one of the things you were doing to your strikes.
Why?
That makes sense.
I don't think it matters.
Well, I'm just telling you. I think that's the rules as written. Is that the action point is for the move, and then
well, no, it says it can replace action points. You just read that.
Action points when performing martial maneuvers.
No, read the end again.
Oh yeah, so it can spent on techniques, on class features, and in place of action points when performing martial maneuvers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm just saying the math is going to work out, but just for
so okay, one to move, one for the reroll, 1 for power attack on the first one, and then 1 for sweep attack. What did I forget? 1, 2, 3, 4. Move, reroll, power attack, sweep attack. No, that's 4. I don't need to. Oh, I need to move. So and then I use I use stamina for one of those, and then use one of those action points to move. So wait a minute. Let me do the math again. So move the 1 square. My reroll, power attack, and sweep attack. Is that all I have to do? No, I need 1 for an attack. That's what it is. So 1 to move, 1 to attack, 1 for power attack, 1 to sweep, 1 to sweep attack, or 1 to sweep attack, and then 1 for my reroll, my stamina for the reroll. That's what it is.
Okay.
Or I might have to switch the sweep attack. The sweep attack is the stamina point. Sure.
There you go. Okay, so make 1 attack check against all targets. If it hits, the original target takes your attack's damage, and each additional target takes 1 damage of the same type. So you're going to attack the one. So basically, just to kind of get it, is that since they were kind of in a line, you're going to start with the one that's in the center and sweep to the far one. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Ooh. Okay. See how this works.
Shitty. I rolled a 9 or 8 tops, so I missed.
I rolled a 6 and an 8. Ouch. Okay.
Yep. So I missed.
Yeah. So basically, you go through, and it seems as though you tried to reach over the table, but your sweep attack did not work so well. Mechanically, the next skeleton, after basically reloaded its heavy crossbow, it doesn't seem as though they've been programmed with too many instructions here. It is going to try to fire at you, Brent, and it has disadvantage because you're within a square.
They both have disadvantage because I'm hugging them almost.
That didn't work the way I thought it would. I was trying to do a keep lowest one, but obviously that isn't what happened. So I get an 18 in spite of that. That's just a regular hit, right?
Right. So you got an 18 and a 22. That's your disadvantage? That's what you're saying? Okay. Yep, that hits me.
3 points of damage.
Nope.
1 point of damage.
Correct.
Nice.
I'll get you. Okay. These are encounters that are designed as part of the adventure, so I'm not trying to trip you up, but I am trying to make them DC.
Well, the GM is not supposed to actually be trying to kill the player characters. I would like to remind you.
I'm not trying.
Challenge, not necessarily kill.
That's true. I put you to sleep. Okay. So so basically this time, being so close to it, it pretty much fires a crossbow, and you feel the weight of it hit you right in the stomach. Fortunately, you're you found that it did puncture close enough through that you actually feel the pain in your stomach.
Ouch.
Ouch. That's what I say. Ouch.
Okay, so next
it's more gruff and dwarfy.
All right, I will spend an action point to lightning bolt, a second one to get advantage, and a third one to chain it to the other guy.
Okay. So wait, cast lightning bolt, get advantage, chain it, and was that it?
I used reaction.
Oh, that's right.
So I've already spent one, so I only have 3 to use. Which I know because I have this nifty tracker.
Nice. Okay. Perfect. Track is badass. I love it.
15.
Yeah. So basically, so there's one on the left and one on the right. Which one was your original target?
Let's go with the one on the left.
Okay. So the one on the left, as you let loose lightning, somehow still managing to miss Brent with all of this, which is pretty amazing. I'm not going to lie. Lightning is dancing around you.
You could just say it's magic. I think that.
Yeah, it's magic. It's almost magical.
It's almost magical. I've been doing
how I shoot one and ricochet it to the other without hitting my.
Or since it's lightning coming out of your fingers, we could say it's literally magic.
But you cast the lightning, it arcs over the table, smash, like you see the bones blow back into the wall behind it. But it's not done yet. It kind of twists and arcs back into the other one as you guide it over to that. That one takes 2 points of damage. Okay.
Yeah, they each take 2 in this case.
Okay.
Because of how I chose to spend my action points. But I actually needed the advantage because the first roll was an 11, not a 15.
Okay. So, since I was going down the line, that one that was supposed to go next is now dead. So it is Brent's turn.
All right. I will hit the last one. So, 1 for attack, 1 for reroll, 1 for power attack. And there isn't any other ones, are there?
No, just this last defiant skeleton.
Can I do power attack twice, or can you not do that? I can't remember.
I didn't think you could. I don't know.
You can use that maneuver specifically multiple times. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
So I'll do power attack twice then.
Well,
Okay.
Sweet. Let's go.
So I will do this twice because I like being able to see it. Oh, I did bad again. I rolled a 10.
Ouch.
I've been doing so well up until now.
Like, you're not sure what it is. Maybe the table's just a little too tall for you. But as
hey, watch with the short jokes, okay?
As you're swinging, man, it's like you feel like you had just this thing dead to rights, and you just literally swing over its head as you jump attack, kind of like a child trying to grab candy off of a counter. Moving on. Just kidding.
I'm making a mental note to ridicule your characters next time I run a game.
That's fair. It's fair game, honestly. Love and war, etc., etc. Honestly, it shoots at you, Brent, because you're like literally right in its way. It's going to roll with disadvantage. Okay, so I already know I fail with just one roll. The bolt goes screaming past your head. Obviously, you had kind of fallen and kind of your knees had buckled a little bit when you came back to the ground after the jump, and it shot right over you.
Ha! Your NPCs suck at shooting arrows.
Bolts, please.
Whatever.
That's true. I just opened up the chat, and Charles is correct. You have to pull that bolt out, man. You got something in your gut that's telling you can't hit it. So Jeff.
All right. We will fall back on lightning bolt. We will get advantage with a second. And I will increase the damage.
Okay.
So I have 3. Actually, you know what? I will advantage with the 4th.
Ooh, double advantage.
Right?
Giving yourself advantage multiple times is actually pretty neat if you really want to have that like cinematic moment.
Or if you're bad at rolling dice, like somebody that we know.
Hey, I got a 20. 16. That's right. 16 plus 4. That is not a 20 plus anything. That is a 16 plus 4.
That is a heavy hit. So in this particular case, Jeff, since I've described the last two, how do you finish off the skeleton with your lightning?
Really, just lightning ripping into its torso and exploding outwards, sending bones scattering against the wall behind it.
All right, fair enough. So so the lightning just kind of blasts the skeleton backwards. Now you have in this room, at least, you have multiple bones mixed together with each other.
Sweet. I pull a bag out of my backpack and start collecting the bones.
What are you laughing at, Brent?
I just realized that there's just going to be 4 graves with piles of people's bones in it because we're not going to be able to know whose are whose. There's just going to be somebody here.
There's going to be parts of 16 bodies.
You have a much bigger family now than you did before. So Brom looks at Zevrox and goes, God, I hope there's not more skeletons or it's going to get crowded in that grave.
Yeah, no kidding. Do you have, I'm going to use one of the health potions. What did our level 2 health potions give us?
Just a moment. I'm sorry. That was too good. So a level 2 health potion restores 4 hit points.
Then I will restore 4 hit points.
Okay, that means you have 1 level 2 health potions left.
Yes.
Your deep
marking
wound,
that off as well.
Yeah, your pretty deep wound from that crossbow bolt seems like it was pretty well taken care of, though.
I took 4 damage and healed 4 damage. So
that was kind of an experiment in how higher damage but lower HP mobs could do, because it's, I think Brent is still a little bit of a tricky one for him because he's got
it's not tricky for me. It's perfectly fine for me. I don't feel like there's any tricks at all.
but Jeff is like, oh, a crossbow.
Crossbow bolt. Oh.
Jeff is like, bugs. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm allergic to bug stings.
Bug stings and everything like that. So
yeah, at 6 hit points, most anything that does damage makes you slightly nervous.
There was a game most of the time. Actually, Mike, you're the reason I started playing characters like this.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I can't be the only. Well, maybe.
I berserk. You're dead. Oh.
Well, I mean, I mentioned that it wasn't the best place for it, but you were stated within character, and it was the roll of the dice that determined your fate. It was true.
I'm just saying, I think you've just, I don't know. In seriousness, I've always liked higher defense characters, so it's nice in this game that it pays off.
Yeah.
But you also do a lot of damage, Jeff, when you're popping off. Like
chaining. If they're standing close enough together, chaining is semi ridiculous. I don't scale as high as you do with some of your stuff, but that spread against 3 targets, that's filthy.
Yeah, power attack might be ridiculous for melee characters. Especially with enough martial, especially with enough points to do it almost every time. Like, I'm hitting for 5 pretty regularly with a one-handed axe.
Magic was made for AoE.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
You're right, Charles. 100%. Yeah, single target stuff. I'm going to get 2 or 3.
And sweep attack never works. I've never had it work every time I've used it. So 100% failure rate on sweep attack.
So Brent is down on sweep. He'd like it removed from the rules.
No. Warriors should keep it because they're not made for AoE. So yeah, sweep attack 100% fail rate.
Well, what is interesting about sweep attack, though, compared to the lightning bolt and everything like that, is that when you make your 1 attack check against all targets, the original target takes the attack's damage, and each additional target only takes 1 damage of that type. So it's like very light to the adjacent targets, whereas Jeff benefits from the fact that that lightning bolt does it
will
2 damage.
will
So
nuke a bunch of damage. Yeah, no.
But your characters are operating exactly as designed, though. Like,
right.
If anything touches Jeff, it seems as though he dies, and if anything gets past Brent's armor, it seems like it's a scratch.
I did finally get to use the reaction though, and actually try to hurt.
Yeah,
something.
and it worked out. And actually, what I should be doing more often is I should be staying next to Jeff and parrying for him.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I should be doing. I need to try and do that more often.
I like the idea of you trying to break up, the stuff behind the table, and
I'm just kind of surprised at how much I guess why I'm saying that is because I'm kind of surprised by how much damage I consistently do. I mean, I am rolling well, which is super helpful, but like just being able to stay up means that most of the time I'm eventually going to roll well.
Yes. Oh, Peter wanted to know, Brent, what martial techniques did you choose to have?
I took power attack, sweep attack. Don't I have like most of them now? I think.
Well, you're talking maneuvers. He's talking techniques.
Oh,
so like you have the.
I took Sunder Armor.
Okay.
Heroic Bash, which I never use, and Heroic Parry. I think are the ones that I took because I think I have 3 now. Still, do I still have 3?
Let's see. For fighting classes, the fighter, you have techniques known
and martial expansion. I took that too. I might have too many. You have to remind me.
You would have too many if you had that many. Because during your normal number, you would your techniques at level 0 is 0, but level 2 it's changed. With martial expansion, I think you get one with that, but
I think you get one with that.
Yeah, you get 2 extra maneuvers and 2 extra techniques.
No, 1 extra technique. You get 1 additional stamina point, 1 maneuvers, and 1 technique. And you might be thinking of the old.
I think that changed, yeah.
So yeah, you'd have 1 technique at this level. So Sunder Armor might be the right one.
So I'll have to go through and I'll have to make sure that that's the only one I've used, so that's the one that I'll keep.
So right now, basically you've just entered into the observatory. You've fought and exploded a bunch of skeletons. You have now collected said skeletons into a large sack, I guess. And you're faced with a couple of choices. You have a door, either to the west or a door to the north. So I think with that, since that's us at our 2-hour mark, I think we could probably leave it on this cliffhanger of you're in the tower. What's next? Dun, dun, dun.
All right. I'm just writing down where we're at. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
That was good.
That was fun. Yeah.
It has 1 at level 1.
I liked using the tracker and flipping back and forth instead of my marks on the paper. The marks on the paper work, but I was, it was kind of nice. Just being able to reset and knowing what I'd used visually,
I think I have 1 technique at level 1 and then 1 at level 2. So I should have 1 more.
Yeah.
But then
that's interesting.
When am I allowed to take martial why did I take martial expansion?
I thought that was a level 2 thing.
Because it's a talent. The fighter class feature.
So that's 3. So I think 3 maneuvers.
Weird. I'll have to double check because the weird part is that the class feature shows that you get a technique at level 1. Weird. Kind of confusing.
I don't think I took 1. I don't think I took 1 at level 1.
So you might be right.
Yeah, no, we'll have to double check on that because I think that the way it's written might be a little bit confusing, especially if you're using a chart for most of your like comparative knowledge as to what's happening at each level. That might be what's happening there, but we'll double check.
I will say this to everybody. I think it's okay because I don't think I've used them yet. So I think we're all right.
Yeah. The Sunder Armor is pretty good though.
Ooh, so the sound went down and then came back.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's amateurs over here.
Eesh. It's I don't know. It might be the internet where we are, because it's still I don't know. We're recovering from the disaster of last week.
Yeah, we had a pretty severe windstorm
that knocked down trees, power lines, took out internet cables, pretty much the whole shebang.
I was out without power for 3 days, so personal misery.
Well, Charles, that would be great if we were doing this intentionally and I can time this with appropriately placed NPCs, but that is not what's happening.
Sadly,
yeah. I wish it was, though. I definitely wish it was.
Someday we'll get voice changers and all sorts of cool shit.
Man, I don't know. What is everyone's opinion on voice changers? Because I mean, admittedly, I'm no actor that can do all the different voices and change up my demeanor so much that I'm a whole new person. But like, are voice changers cool? Has anybody seen any real good action or really good actual plays that use a voice changer as part of the play?
That's a good question. I don't think I've seen one.
No, because really what happens with a voice changer, it always sounds the same. Eventually, everyone sounds like a robot after a while. It's just pitching. Like, so I don't think they work that well.
Yeah, I'd be curious if it
if you ever decide to run a Battlestar Galactica game and want to sound like a Cylon, you should probably get one. That's what I would suggest.
That's fair. I was curious too, like if you didn't have pre-written scripting that you could put through like an AI reader or something like that could give you different voices and everything. But that sounds like
you could do that. Like some of those sound really nice, but like then it pronounces a word in the weirdest way possible, and you're like,
especially fantasy words. I could see that being like,
I've heard some that pronounce the same normal regular word like 3 different ways in 3 different sentences.
Yeah, there's a video uploaded somewhere. Probably it's not probably okay that it's on the internet, but it's a Symborum, and it just goes through the background of the world, and that's like the voiceover is great. And then everyone was like, "Oh, it's an AI," because like at one point he says some word, and it's like, "Oh, that's definitely not how that word's pronounced." That's definitely a word that it thinks.
Huh. That's cool. Interesting.
That is cool.
Yeah. And I assume the game is entirely online then, Charles?
No, he has a thing that he wants them to throw.
Maybe.
I would use that. If I had one of those, I'd use it every day. I made it work.
Yeah. I could see that. That could be a really interesting way to kind of immerse yourself in a character and everything like that. And as Brent was saying, the fact that it's a war found.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good use of it, I would say.
Yep. But maybe one of these days I will figure out how to do the demonic speeches where.
I feel like you're doing a demonic speech every time you threaten to kill us.
That's untrue. So,
what, my feelings are untrue, or that you threaten to kill?
Wow! Oh, okay. Wow! Shots fired. Brent's feelings have now been invalidated by Mike.
I was just asking. I
don't know what I'm supposed to say here.
I don't know. You painted you into a corner pretty well there. So
I was about to say that was a good 4D chess move. I don't think I have a shovel for this situation, unless I'm going deeper, which I don't think is the right thing to do.
That's when you just look at the person and say, "Hey, F you," and then walk away.
Then you just walk away. Sure. No.
I'm kidding, of course.
Oh, Shiny, anybody see the Deadpool drone show over Comic-Con this year?
No.
Distraction.
I did not.
Oh man. Okay, well. That was a short-lived distraction.
Did you see at Comic-Con the Romulus promo they did where people were laying on the ground with face huggers on their face? No way.
So this week, we one of our friends came up to San Diego, right? I actually saw him a few days, so it was good to see him in person and everything like that. He had mentioned that he wanted to go. He didn't actually know that the panel existed because, you know, as he was scrolling through the different events and everything like that, there are so many events, he just missed it. But apparently there was enough openings that he could have just walked in, because he saw like one guy walking out of the panel with like 5 face huggers attached to him, and they were not small face huggers.
No, they were life size.
They were so big, and it was like, man, I wish I could have gone to that. That would have been so cool. You don't know if you want one of those in your house, Brent?
I don't think I can handle it.
No?
Nope.
That's fair.
Parasites are a bad thing for Brent, and then face huggers are like a nightmare from my childhood.
Sure, that's fair.
Like, I don't have very many things like that make me uncomfortable. But face huggers, as far as a fictional thing, do, and giant centipedes, as far as a realistic thing, do.
You don't want one of those 3-foot-long centipedes crawling up your back?
Yeah, that are the size like your your forearm. No, thank you. No.
Which one are the big pedes? There's the centipedes or the millipedes. Are the centipedes the big ones or the millipedes? Or?
I think it's the centipedes that can get big.
Yeah, I don't know for sure.
But... Have you ever seen the video online of like the mom centipede in the cup? Have you ever seen that video? Like, she's curled around the outside of the cup and her babies are in the center of the cup and all of her poison legs are sticking up. It is the grossest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Charles says the millipedes are the small ones.
Yeah, that's good, I guess.
I'm gonna see if I can find it now for you guys, because it's a thing out of my nightmares.
No, thank you, I guess.
This is a weird wind down.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the session.
Brent's fears are where we're going to leave it, and Brent's visceral reactions to things are where we're going to leave everything.
We're just going to pull out the couch. We're going to say, like, okay, Brent, now tell us about your childhood. Tell us about your most secretive, deep, dark memories.
Oh God, they're not memories. Thank God they're not memories. If that was a memory, it'd be even worse. Ugh.
That would be worse. So yeah, everybody hopefully that was able to catch a little bit, enjoyed the show tonight. Obviously, if you saw that we did some stuff that was a little bit wonky, let us know. We're happy to try to correct course. I think we're doing pretty good. We've got a lot of the rules figured out a lot better. We still got some little tweaks here and there as we go, but we've been enjoying the heck out of it. So again, I can't say enough for J15 and the games and the trackers. I think that is so cool. We really appreciate it, and we hope that other people have an opportunity to see these soon. So, do you guys have any final words before we sign off tonight?
Just say thanks to Charles and everybody who comes frequently, and that they're enjoying watching the game. We don't do this professionally. We're doing this for fun and enjoy sharing it with you guys.
I don't have anything. I just posted in chat, like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. Share with as many people as possible. We'll try and get our names out there. Maybe someday we can fix our sound problems if more people share.
So that's true. That's true.
That's fair.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
See you next time.
Here.
Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.